भारत में डायग्नोस्टिक्स में क्रांति, राष्ट्रीय डायग्नोस्टिक्स फोरम और अवार्ड्स 2025 का तीसरा संस्करण मुंबई में सफलतापूर्वक संपन्न। मुंबई, 16 जनवरी 2025। प्रभावी स्वास्थ्य सेवा का आधार माने जाने वाले डायग्नोस्टिक्स क्षेत्र ने भारत में रोगों की शीघ्र पहचान, प्रबंधन और बेहतर रोगी परिणामों में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाई है। देश वर्तमान में बढ़ते रोग भार और विकसित हो रही स्वास्थ्य सेवा मानकों के दोहरे चुनौती का सामना कर रहा है। ऐसे में डायग्नोस्टिक्स क्षेत्र पहुंच, किफायती सेवा और नवाचार में अंतर को पाटने के लिए एक महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभा रहा है। इसी संदर्भ में वॉइस ऑफ हेल्थ केयर द्वारा आयोजित राष्ट्रीय डायग्नोस्टिक्स फोरम और अवार्ड्स 2025 के तीसरे संस्करण का आयोजन वेस्टिन गोरेगांव, मुंबई में सफलतापूर्वक संपन्न हुआ। इस आयोजन ने उद्योग जगत के अग्रणी व्यक्तियों, नीति निर्माताओं और नवप्रवर्तकों को डायग्नोस्टिक्स के भविष्य को आकार देने के लिए एक मंच पर लाया।
I am the Chief Operating Officer with POCT Services. We are a diagnostic lab chain and end-to-end equipment and reagents manufacturer as well.
I am Bhaumik Trivedi. I am from Shimadzu India Analytical Private Limited and taking care for clinical and diagnostics and CRO market for the country and managing pan-India business. And Shimadzu is an analytical company who is into the analytical testing instruments as well as into medical devices like X-ray systems and imaging systems as well.
I am Sankalp Gupta and I am director of Dr. B. Lal Clinical Laboratory. We are a Rajasthan-based diagnostic chain with 12 regional labs and 140 plus collection centers.
I am Dr. Rajiv Rao. I am the Dean of the D.Y. Patil School of Medicine or the D.Y. Patil Medical College at Navi Mumbai. So I have been called as a speaker for this forum. It's been a good event.
Sir, so starting with today, what was your agenda of coming to this event? What was the focus and what is your expected outcome from this?
So my agenda primarily was how the leadership is helping the diagnostic industry evolve, adopt innovation, and what this industry has seen transition over the last 10 years, and how does the leadership role play a pivotal role in terms of bringing out the new change, taking the industry ahead, and bringing more efficiency and more data protection and privacy policies, and adopting more point of care devices in terms of reaching out to the absolute ground level up to tier 3, tier 4 cities or the villages.
So you are a Japanese company and you have a lot of products for the diagnostic centers of today. So can you tell us something about your company and what is the difference in your company's latest models which is not available in India till now, and how does it help the ROI of the diagnostic centers if they purchase that equipment from you?
Okay, so Shimadzu is 150-year-old company based out of Japan, as sir just mentioned. Now, looking at the culture of the company and our corporate philosophy, which says contributing to science through science and contributing to society through science and technology, that is where we are contributing to the society by our systems. Now, as you mentioned, how we are different in what we do. So predominantly we were into chromatography and mass spectrometry instruments, which were maximally utilized across industries like pharmaceutical, biopharmaceutical and food testing market. Now, since a decade, India has started adopting to it, but still there is a lack of awareness about the utilization of instrument, use of it with respect to clinical utilization, how to use, what should be done, what are the patient outcomes, and how the physicians are getting help by these kind of instrument, and how it is helping in improving patient care. So that is where we are creating a difference. Now, instruments which we have, as I mentioned, these are mass spectrometers. Now, most of the routine diagnostic vendors, they will either work on chemiluminescence immunoassays or calorimetry based assays, which are the clinical biochemistries which they work upon. Nobody is working on mass spectrometer as of now. There are very few solution providers which are into this market. Shimadzu has come in with a really good solution across India and across Asia Pacific, and globally we are addressing to this market. In addition to that, we are the only company as of now to provide a complete automation for mass spectrometer, which is not provided for now by many of the vendors who are into chromatography and mass spec business. And that is where we are looking at creating a difference in India as well.
Okay. Sir, what is the objective of your company coming in today? What is your expectations from this event?
Right, so as this event says, co-creating for the next, and I think that is what the theme has been since the morning. I think one common thing that everyone's been hearing is collaboration, and people across the industry from the entire value chain have come here and have been discussing on very pertinent topics which are related to diagnostics. And I think there is more and more need for all of us to sit across the table and discuss these issues, so as we can co-create something better for the society.
Today's event is all about future technology and everything, whereas you are into training and education. So
I think the DY Patil University is actually the educational partner for this event. And being DY Patil, we are a very progressive university, and we want our students to be future ready. And one way of doing it is to attend or look at the future trends in these current conferences, where you know where the industry is moving towards, and then you take these messages back home and try to incorporate these learnings to your students, so that they come out as better clinicians when they come out into practice.
so they are future ready as well.
Absolutely.
When the equipment comes out, they are already aware of it.
Absolutely.
That's a very good initiative that you are taking. So could you introduce yourself and your company and
Yeah. I'm Deepak Sani, founder and chairman for Healthians, which is India's largest e-diagnostic business today.
Okay. So, sir, Healthians is one of the diagnostic companies. So, what are the latest diagnostic tests that you have already got, and are you taking any what are your takeaways from this conference that you are going to put in use for future?
Yeah. So I'm definitely here for more learnings and obviously to share learnings to people. But largely, if you really look at diagnostic over last 5-6 years, has really taken a center stage. If you look at from a COVID scenario and post-COVID scenario, there used to be a very less conferences before on diagnostic specifically, and diagnostic was always treated as one of the healthcare unit, but it was never a center stage. Today, everybody knows the importance of diagnostics, and that is where, and specifically the trends have been changing. So in the last 4-5 years, there is definitely a lot of introduction on the genetic testing side. There is a lot of testing on gut microbiome. There is a lot of testing that is happening wherein AI data is being used, and a lot of AI analysis on being used on the past records to actually find out really a right diagnosis for a particular person, and it is more personalized also. It's not like if these 4 things are there, this is a diagnosis. Now it has become more personalized. In the next few years, you will see it becoming even more personalized for people and more predictive also. So at least you will get to know something much before the diagnosis earlier used to happen.
Come to you again,
Yeah, so I'm Dr. Kirti from Metropolis Healthcare Limited. I'm the Chief Scientific Innovation Officer. I'm here today, as you know, my colleagues mentioned, it's a very interesting collaborative effort because, like the way we say before Christ and after Christ, I think it's before COVID and after COVID for healthcare, because so much has changed in healthcare. There is a total recalibration going on, right? So today the patient, I can't even call him a patient, actually he's a healthy person who's become more aware about his health. So wellness has become something very important. Also, people today want to know what I can get, how can I avoid, how can I predict, and they are just bombarded by social media, giving all kind of information, sometimes right, sometimes wrong. But then the onus is on all of us who are the experts of healthcare to make sure that the right test, the right technology, the right cost, the right price point, the right diagnostic models all come out. And I think all of us, are trying to do this in whichever specialty. So for us, we are a super specialty company. So whether it's oncology, women and child health, transplant, gastroenterology, everything, allergy, autoimmunity. We have actually already deployed AI models and digitized models everywhere to try and reduce the cost, to save time, and to try and reach the patient faster and better, and to be able to establish, as somebody said, a personalized or a customized solution for them. So I think this is all in that effort, and I wish everybody a very good road ahead in the diagnostic space.
So as technology is growing faster and faster, and as you rightly mentioned, there's AI, there's machine learning, and there are so many other things, there's software. So all these things are different for different companies. So as your company might be doing a certain kind of tests and getting certain results, the other companies may be doing similar tests but in a different way. So is there any standardization format that we have decided upon, or the machines, or is there any conversion that is happening, so that there is, and the person who's, I'm talking about the end users, the common man, as you rightly said, he's not a patient, but he wants to do his diagnostics. So also I wanted to understand if there are any tests that a person of 30 years old should be doing, 40 years, what should he be doing, and 50 and 60 and so on, that these are the tests that you must do in a specific age, and once the test is there, it should be online, and there should be some kind of doctor's consultation along with the test itself. Is there anything like Allianz has something on those lines, or something that should throw some light on?
Sure. So in fact, all the test at Allianz is also defined by age itself, not just by age, but a lot of things. And rather than fixing those tests, what we are doing is we are going back and looking at data. So if I have to define that what test should be done at the age of 30, I don't tell that. I go and see the data of millions of people who have been 30-year old and what have been they diagnosed with, and what are the latest diagnoses coming up. Based on that, we decide that because there is a latest diagnosis coming in, these are some of the tests that should be added as a mandatory test for 30-year-old. And things post-COVID, like ma'am just said, has changed. So a lot of this, supposedly if I have to get say a homocysteine test or something which is say a cardiac sort of a marker, probably it was there in 40s and it was not there in 30s. But in the last few episodes that you have seen all over, it has now come in 30s. So all of these keeps changing, and that is how the test ranges keep changing. And the test is not only defined by age, it is also defined by a lot of habits that you have, a lot of lifestyle you have, right? It is also defined by are you living in north or you living in south, because we know the food habits and everything else. So all of that changes, and based on that you can select your test.
So could you also throw some light on this?
So I agree with what Deepak just said, and there are, so it's just not age by which you prescribe or have to have some tests done. I think a lot depends on your genetic factors, your habits, and all of that. And there are tools like, we are using maybe a health risk prediction or assessment tool through which we can tell, by a set of questionnaire that these are the set of, or these are the packages that you can really go for. So this is how, in addition to what he just said, I think this is how we're evolving and taking.
To give you the surety, as a layman, be sure that I'm getting the best thing. So, for that, there is the unorganized sector and there is an organized sector. And there is an accreditation check. So, like the way if you go shopping, or let's say tomorrow, the ladies here go shopping gold, they will look for that mark that is this certified. So, similarly, in healthcare, thankfully, we have a mark, right? So, we have a NABL and a CAP mark, we have an ISO mark. So the layman, any layman can actually look at that has this lab gone through this checkpoint. Because me saying I'm good is not okay. Somebody else has to say I'm good, right? So that thankfully is there. So you can be assured that nothing is happening wrong. Everything is checked by a lot of people and who are not at all with they have no bias, or they are not under this. So that scanner is there. So as far as the organized healthcare sector is concerned, whether it's the hospitals or the laboratories, everybody is following a rule book. So nobody is breaking those ethical rules or the scientific rules. And then yes, within that you will have a specialty to focus on. So if you go to any hospital, they'll be famous for 2 or 3 things. Similarly, every lab will have its own strengths. So that is of course, it's your expertise and what have you spent more time over, what do you have more data over, where do you have more follow-up, where do you have more outcomes, publications. So all of that is there.
I would like to ask things you are saying about healthcare. So we have generic medicines where we can't sell them on the same way. Why we can't have generic things in the MRIs and it is possible to learn and the generic they can't afford it. So is there some kind of things you are thinking of trying to
kind of regulation around this. We have to wait for them to release something. But I think that's where the going is going to be. Unfortunately, we will not be able to take a decision on that, right? Because that is ultimately with the government to decide. As I said, most of the sector is unorganized. So until the government first takes a stand on that, so first you have to organize a sector and then you can go and put in rules in the sector, right?
But right now what's happening, if they are charging much, so we think that we can depend on them. They are trustworthy. Like for MRI, etc., we have to go to Vihuja or Myanmar because they are charging more. So that's why I'm going to
But I'll tell you something, quality comes at a cost. So you cannot reduce the cost of anything so much that you lose the whole essence, right? Because when it's your father, your mother, your child, you're not going to think of 100 to 100. You will then think, kahan pe mujhe correct report mil raha hai, right? So I think let's not be suspicious, right? So if I have a legal problem, I'm going to go to a lawyer. Whatever he's going to charge me, I'm going to give. I'm not going to question, is he giving me the right advice? So I think everybody does not need to become a doctor. Let the doctors do their job. They're all good people. And even if you hear one odd thing, one bad apple does not mean the whole industry is bad. I'm sure not all CAs, all lawyers, everybody is not good, right? So similarly, in fact, this is the one industry where everybody is anyway very ethical and God-fearing. So I don't think there is any malpractice, at least in any of the organized or listed players. I don't think anybody can ever think of doing that. So you don't have to worry so much here. Yeah. Hinduja is a great hospital, by the way. I've worked over there. It's a great place. So if they're charging you something, that means they're charging you for a reason. So you don't have to suspect. By the way, they have excellent team of doctors, right? Excellent team of doctors, excellent everything. So whether it's a hospital or whether it's a lab, if they put a charge to something, they have calculated something and put a charge. Now obviously it's up to the paying capacity, but I don't think we need to suspect the charges. I don't feel that's required.
Great. I think we have got enough information. Before I close, I would just like to each one of you add your final closing thoughts. It could be anything that you want to just tell the common man what is in it for him. So should he do some tests or how does the lifestyle work, take care of anything that comes to your mind? I would like to start with.
At least for the basics set of parameters, and also choose a lab very wisely. Don't just walk into any of the lab or a center. Make a list of checklists, whether it has a pathologist or not, whether it is NABL or ISO certified or not, what kind of equipments and how much time are they taking to process a sample. Sample collection is being done through proper vacuum cleaners or not. I think these are 5-6 parameters which every person should think and see before walking into any center or any lab to get their sample done, because each blood sample, it's not only carries the life of a particular person, it also revolves around the whole family. So choose lab wisely.
Listen to your body. Your body speaks by itself. If you feel stress, you should understand that there is a stress. You should stop at a certain moment of time. If your eyes are red, your body is saying you should sleep, so you should sleep. Don't search things vaguely on ChatGPT, or don't ask everything to computer. There are doctors around you. They know more than the automation. Yes, the technology is evolving. It tells you, but it's very generic information. Doctor is more understanding. He knows your situation. If you feel something is not good with you, report it. Don't keep it within yourself. Be it a headache or be it your shoulder pain. It can be frozen shoulder as well. Something can go wrong with you. Don't underestimate any symptom which your body is telling. Report it to doctors. Get it checked. Get it diagnosed. Get it treated. That is very important, which I feel.
So a couple of things. First is catch the disease before the disease catches you. I think there is still a lack of awareness in terms of health, whether you should get your test done or not. And I'm coming from Rajasthan, Jaipur, Mumbai, Delhi. There is still, I think, a lot of difference in the awareness of what citizens carry. People still feel that if they get tested, they'll be detected with some disorders or something. I think it's important that you realize, accept that what test needs to be done, and you need to be aware on that. Second is know your lab. I think it's very important to know it's just not you giving your sample to a phlebotomist who's coming to your home. It's also much beyond what goes behind the scenes and what goes in the laboratory. I think it's important to know all of that. We've talked about compliances, role of NABL, and all of those checkpoints that impact the integrity of your result. So I think you should be more aware about all of these factors.
I think as an educator, what I see in the students is addiction to social media, phones, and belief in what social media is saying. And I think for the lay public, that's very important. What comes on Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook is not the truth. Google Baba is not a good doctor. Please don't believe everything that comes in social media. WhatsApp University is a lot of fake things happen. So a lot of problems can be avoided. You do the wrong things because you believe the wrong things. And then once you avoid those things, then everything becomes the same. But I do think mobile addiction is a very bad addiction to have. It's very prevalent in our society. All of us, including our children, are having it. And it's time that we let go of this, because you're straining your eyes, you're straining your body, you're creating mental stress, all of that. And in every lab, in every center, in every hospital, yes, the technology, the machines are good, but always remember that man is better than the machine. It's important to trust the man, the doctor, more than you trust the machine. In every machine you put in garbage, you get out garbage. So I think the doctor is more important.
You spoke about mobile. We don't clean the mobile, but we use dirty hands to handle the mobile. So is there mobile also? We may wash the hands, but again touch the same way. So
I think we can live through that. No, we can live through that. There are a lot of dirty things around and we keep touching, so that's okay. But you keep looking at the mobile and you're polluting your mind. That's more important.
Yeah,
what tests should you recommend to the general public?
See, the problem with this is that there is no one size fits all sort of a scenario in healthcare. And like you said, there's an overwhelming advices and overwhelming information available on internet which can be carried away, because people just say, now I've seen new social media trend of people telling which test to be taken when you have something. Even for our dry eyes, they have started telling a test. So I have never heard of it. And this has been...
No, we are happy.
No,
patient is coming to our lab.
But it is actually a misinformation. So ultimately, people think that companies like us probably are promoting those. But however, these informations are not correct. So that is why everyone has to understand their body first. What do they need? And you always have a sounding board, and that sounding board is your doctor. Right? So you should always go when there is a confusion rather than just taking, because today if you go on the same internet page, you will find 5 different tests being prescribed to a same sort of a people with the same sort of a problem. So what is correct is not. The information is it's an overload of information today, right? Because everybody wants little eyeballs, and the eyeballs only come when they disrupt things, right? So you have been seeing somebody is saying that having sugar does not create diabetes. You will read about it because you actually want to have sugar. Right? But that's not true, right? And if they just say don't have sugar because you have diabetes, you will not look at that post. So all information that comes to you is not true, and you have to really filter that information out before you really go for it. And there cannot be a single test which can be prescribed for everyone. It has to be based on the body, based on the overall problem, symptoms, lifestyle, and then you find out the test.
बट सिंस आप इतना जेन्युइनली पूछ रहे हैं, मुझे लगता है आप सच में जानना चाहते हैं कि कौन से 4-5 टेस्ट कराने हैं. तो इंडिया के इंसिडेंस के हिसाब से डायबिटीज़, हम लोग डायबिटीज़ की कैपिटल हैं, तो ब्लड शुगर कराना बहुत सी सेंसिबल आइडिया है. एवरीबडी शुड गेट इट डन. सेकेंडली, नंबर ऑफ कार्डियक जिसको बोलते हैं कैबेज, कार्डियोपल्मोनरी बाईपास होता है, वो इंडिया में बहुत हाई होता है रेशियो. तो कोलेस्ट्रॉल कराना भी अच्छा आइडिया है. हमारी लड़कियों में और स्पेशली यंगर पॉपुलेशन में अनीमिया बहुत कॉमन है, इसलिए हीमोग्लोबिन कराना अच्छा आइडिया है. तो अगर कराना ही है तो कम से कम शुगर, कोलेस्ट्रॉल और हीमोग्लोबिन, ये 3 चीज़ें भी अगर करा ली ना तो ठीक है, कम से कम इतना ठीक है कि ये सबसे कॉमन यही है.
No. Let's not go there. No comments.
So in that, only one recommendation, whatever you eat is fine, but red meat, don't overdo it because it is associated with a lot of problems. So अगर आप non-vegetarian हैं तो fish is healthier, chicken is next, red meat is last.
So maybe that recommends even in USG for your liver, fatty liver?
No,
Not
but
that.
they were genuinely asking.
Exactly.
I think to
That's
end.
why I think.
For the common man, I be able to think.
Correct.
Yes,
क्योंकि
true.
ये
I
तीन
think,
test करने से
I
कम
think
से
to
कम-
end, what you have to remember is you can eat what you want, but don't take medicines that you want. Please do not
Trust
self-medicate.
the doctor.
Yes.
Because this problem of antimicrobial resistance is huge. We do not have any medicines now to actually treat infections. Because of this rampant over-medication and wrong medicine taken at the wrong time in the wrong dose. That's creating a lot of problems. So eat what you want, but don't take any medicines that you want.
और एक और प्रॉब्लम हमारी कंट्री में टीबी है, तो अगर कोई आपके आसपास खांस रहा है, नॉन स्टॉप खांस रहा है, उसकी खांसी नहीं जा रही है, उसको बोलो टेस्ट कराओ. और टीबी, if you get it tested, you can get it treated, but if you don't get it treated, then you will end up with complications. So these are common things, so you can advise.
Thank you for
Thank you so
inviting
much.
us.